Have you always dreamed of owning and working your land? You need just the right tractor. The TYM line of tractors are the toughest and most versatile tractor for all your jobs. Drive your dream. Visit your TYM tractor dealer today. TYM Tractors, the stuff dreams are made of.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tony, and this is Tony's Tractor Adventure. And this was, I think this is like our 5th live, and it started off great this morning. I get up to check all my equipment, and it says, your camera is no longer supported. So jumped through some hoops today and got a new camera, got it set up, and I think it looks okay. But if you guys wouldn't mind, tell me how my sound is and also how my video looks. I think it looks all right. And we're going to get Nathan in here in just a minute. He's getting ready. And let's see what we got on comments. Anybody in? Let me know. Show's got 22 watching. Where's the comments at? Come on now. There we go. Good evening. Bill Roundabout. Let's see. There's CJ. Sounds good. Thank you so much for CJ. I appreciate that. Camera look all right? On my end, it looks good. Well, as good as it can look looking at me. I mean, you're asking a lot right there. So let's see here. Watershed overlook. All good. Thank you. Thank you. See Conrad. Hello. Hey, no worries, man. Let's see. There's the Joe the farmer. All right. So let me tell you what we got going on tonight. We got I got a premiere coming on after this at 8 o'clock, and we're going to spend about I'd say 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour with Nathan. So you guys get together, all your questions for the Out of the Woods YouTube channel, and we'll have our question and answer session for him. But I did talk him into sending me a little video for us to watch of what he does, and I thought it was pretty cool. And we'll let him watch this and then bring him on. Up. Hello, Nathan.
There we go, Tony. How's it going?
Man, it's going good. We got 36 people in here already. That's awesome. Peterson Farm of Nashville. Let's see, Dennis. Look here, Joe helping us out. Hit that like button. Like it. Thank you, man.
Joe the farmer. I've heard about.
I think I've already talked about a few other. Let's see. Dennis says sounds good. Appreciate that. Tapping that Sugar Shack. Sounds good. Well, I was telling them before you got on, man, that this morning the first thing I did, I was like, check my gear. I always do, and I'm still new at this, so I'm a little picky about making sure things are right. First thing it said, your camera is no longer supported. And that camera was like, I don't know, 4 years old. So I'm running around to all the stores here in this little small town. I finally found me one. So could have been worse, I guess, right?
Are you on Windows or Apple or Mac or what?
I am on a right now. I have a screaming PC that I built for video, specifically for editing, and but something about the camera. It was one of those Logitech cameras. I had it like four years, and they just said they're not going to support it anymore. So when I would try to come to log in, get it on, it just wouldn't. It couldn't find it. So
I got you.
Either that or just quit working, and that's why I couldn't. Howdy from El Paso, Texas. Let's see here. Guys, we are starting out. I think this is our 5th live, and I'm still not good at it. Probably not going to be good at it for a long time. Just keep doing it until it's not hard anymore. I guess that's what you got to do. But we've got Nathan here from Out of the Woods, and if you guys have not seen his channel, I definitely wish you would go over and check it out, because he is so funny and so entertaining, and has a lot of knowledge when it comes to sawmills and whatnot. Y'all bear with me. I'm pushing buttons and things, getting everything in the right place, trying to get the comments up. There we go. There it is. Okay. So let's see. So when I started off, I said, go ahead and kind of think up some questions. How many people here watch Out of the Woods? I've been watching, Nathan, I've been watching you way further than let's see, I believe I was probably watching you when I was still in the active Army. You were on, when did you go down? Were you starting your YouTube channel in 2015?
I started 2015 November. That was my first ever upload, and the video was terrible.
Yeah.
It's still on the channel. It's terrible. Terrible.
I know I started watching you right about the time that I either retired, or I was still in the Army, or right as I retired, after I retired. I remember that. So I had a cool deal that I'll just tell you this quick little story. I thought it was so cool. I went to Canada this last week and went to a Norwood open house event. It was awesome. They really treated us really good, treated us like family. And then Troy from the Red Tool Barn, and I think you said you watched him before. You watched his videos. Y'all probably have talked before. And Troy was there from Red Tool Barn. And I was like, we were sitting there, and first off, I was standing right beside the guy, and he didn't have his his overalls on, so I didn't, obviously I didn't recognize him. And then I kind of like, I know this guy, and it finally dawned on me, and mainly because I looked at his name tag and it said Red Tool Barn or Red Tool House. That's kind of a dead giveaway. But anyway, so I meet him, and I watched him. I was interested in Sawmills so far back that I watched him while I was in Afghanistan. And I was like, that is so cool that I watched you in Afghanistan all those years ago. And here I am meeting you in person today.
What year was that?
2013.
Man, YouTube's been around for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're getting old, dude. We're just what it is. We're getting old.
9 years,
10 years.
9 years I've been on there, I think. 9 years.
Yeah, because I literally went, my last tour was right before I got out. Joe Main from South Georgia. We know Joe Main, don't we?
There's my buddy Joe. He's supposed to be coming up here. So I need to call him. He's supposed to be coming up here sometime. He went and saw my buddy Robert the other day.
Did we get
Joe does not miss a live. I tell you that. Whenever I do a live, Joe always pops in.
Well, it's going to be something interesting. So let's go ahead and get this started. I always tell a stupid joke, and that's what I'm going to do it every time. It's still going to be horrible every time I do it, but I'm going to still do it. Let's see here. What do you get when you cross a snowman and a vampire? Frostbite. How stupid. Horrible, huh?
I thought it was kind of funny. But
yeah, it's all right. Not the worst one. Definitely not the worst one.
I know that guy, Pete's Homestead.
Yeah, that's old Lucas.
Yeah, I recognize him there.
Yeah.
Somebody talked about somebody named Hank. Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Where do you see Hank? Oh, is Hank in here? I didn't see him pop
up. Somebody's talking about somebody named Hank. Never heard of the guy.
Hank, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Where's Hank? Hank is in. Let's see. I see what you're about. Hank is on vacation. I don't know if he's going to be in here tonight. He might pop in for a minute, but he's doing some things with his family and having a big family get together, and so that's important stuff right there. So I have been watching your channel pretty well. I watch it pretty much all the time anyway. You're one of the channels that I watch, pretty religiously. And I noticed that you built this big barn, man.
Yes, and I'm trying to put this live on my channel here while I'm answering that. I'm just letting people know that I'm live over there. Just trying to get some people to come over.
Sure. We are at 40 right now. My high ever, this is my 5th one, and my highest, I think my highest was like 56.
I'm having to look sideways here at this monitor. I was trying to get this shared out here real fast, and
we ain't no timeline of this. I got a premiere at 8 where we're going to show the, what I did is I interviewed a guy up there. His name is Bill. William Prophet is his name, and his YouTube channel is William Prophet, and he's kind of like you. He knows more about sawmilling than he's forgot more about sawmilling than I'll ever know, because I'm a weekend sawyer. You know what I mean? I'm a weekend warrior. And so I interviewed him with the understanding of, this is kind of the premise of the video, is if you're a first time purchaser of a sawmill, what should you look for? And then I asked him questions because I'm new enough as a sawyer to still remember those questions. Like you guys, you take things for granted because you've been doing it for so long, and you kind of forget how the new guy thinks. So we went in and like explain what a tow board is and what it does, and what is a what is a log dog, what is a backstop, how are they used? I mean, just that simple. And I think it's going to be something that's very, very interesting.
A lot of guys don't even use tow boards. Like a lot of the so-called, I guess you would call them pros that are running 8 hours a day. They don't even use the tow boards because they forget to put them back down, and they throw taper in their log, and they lose a lot of money.
Right.
They'll actually use their clamp as a tow board instead.
Right. I almost did that exact same thing where I cut I used a tow board to raise my first log, and then I made the cut, and then I rotated on its side and done it again. Well, then on that third rotation, you got to let your tow board down, or you're going to mess your camp up.
Oh, yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, so I literally was already getting ready to walk back with a saw head and start cutting. Then I realized what I did, so I did save it. Let's see. Referral here from Ed, My Clutter Garage. Now, if y'all don't know, next week, Ed from My Clutter Garage will be on here for Tuesday Talk. We are doing a Tuesday night talk, and he will be our next victim. All right, let's see. Question for you, Bob.
You go, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to this format here, guys. Look over me. You're going to the Paul Bunyan this year. I was asked that today by somebody else, and I have not decided yet.
Now, how far is the Paul Bunyan from you?
It's about 5 hours. I've went for the past 3 or 4 years. If I go, I'll probably make an announcement sometime end of August. Wood Miser's not mentioned it yet. That's who I usually go with, but they're actually coming by here tomorrow. They may talk to me about it tomorrow, but I don't know. Those trade shows are, and they're a lot of work. They take you away from the farm for a few days, and it's hard to that time back. It's a long time.
We went to that show in Canada there for the Norwood open house, and that's 5 days because you figure traveling, and then we got caught up in all the outage coming back. And we ended up sitting 5 hours in the Philadelphia airport, which is basically the worst scenario for a man, because the Philadelphia airport is like a super mall. There's more stores in there. It's basically a big old mall that just happens to land some airplanes there. So my wife was like in nirvana for her. She was like, we were shopping through all these stores because we had all this big layover. So basically she had me kind of hemmed in for 5 hours in a giant mall. So here's a bad joke for you. What kind of shoes do chickens wear on their feet? Reeboks. I like it. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Throw me some jokes up here, because obviously the ones I got, they ain't that great. Yes, let's bring up this question. CJ's got one, and I have been dying. Well, CJ, hang on before we get to your question. I was asking about your pole barn. Tell us a little bit about that pole barn and how that went, because that on your video, that looked like that was about as smooth as silk.
Yeah, those guys build 300 of those every year. They built mine in 1.5 days.
They sound like they build. If they're doing 300 a year, they're building a lot of them in 1.5 days.
Yeah, 54. Mine's 54 by 72. By lunchtime on day 2, it was done, and they were packed up and out of there. Fastest crew I have ever seen. Probably not the safest crew I've ever seen, but they get it done, man. They were fast, phenomenal.
So, how much of it are you going to cover in? Are you going to have any kind of rooms down there?
One wall I've already got the metal for. We'll cover one wall where the weather comes through. I'll probably build a tool room in there to keep stuff in, because it's going to be open on both ends. So I'm thinking like a tool room somewhere just for stuff for the meal I can lock up at night. But the rest of it just going to be wide open for
if you don't have that down there, you're going to be constantly going back and forth to your shop getting stuff, because you're going to forget it.
I even thought about buying a service truck just so I'd have my tools with me all the time, just to drive down there, and there's all my tools with me, because you don't want to leave just a toolbox sitting out down there. Somebody drive by and grab it.
Right. We got that little side by side. I don't know if I got a picture of that or not. I don't think I do. This little side by side right here, and it's not a good picture. There's somebody else's live, but it's got toolboxes on the bottom of it, and it's flatbed. And I have really enjoyed having that because I put all my tools in it and then drive down the sawmill and then all my stuff is there. So
What brand side by side's that?
that's a Bighorn. They sell that's one brand that they sell at Tractor Supply, but they don't sell that one. That one's only sold through dealers at this moment.
That'd be handy. That's something to think about. I didn't think about nothing like that. My side by side's kind of small.
I put 500 pounds on that little truck bed. That's what the pallet said it weighed, was 500 pounds. That could have been, that's just what the delivery company put on it. And it didn't even squat it. And it was exactly the width. It had maybe an inch extra on each side. So you could set a standard pallet up in the back of it. And then, so that was neat. And then what I found most handy about it was like when you got the sides down, it's an instant table to work on. I just took that one door off on this side. The doors come off in just like a couple of seconds, and you got the door off, the side gate off, and you just have an instant table to work on. I built that upgrade on that sawmill all with that. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back to CJ's question there. How's the haying going?
It was very, very hot. Put it that way, man. God, it was 95 every day. Dry as can be, but we got it done. We got 32 round bales off the first cutting. Sold every one of them. They're gone. Had no trouble selling them. But the second cutting, I don't know. It's been pretty dry. I don't know. Yeah, we've had hardly any rain for the past 2 months.
Well, all of your rain is over here because we've had lots of rain. It rained today and it's going to rain tomorrow.
Yeah, we've had little rain recently, not much, but the hay equipment, it's all been a learning curve and it's all been expensive buying hay equipment. I still don't have a baler. My buddy down the road baled it for me, but his baler was kind of rough and we lost a lot of bales in it just because it was not the best one because it's pretty old. But
right,
big learning curve right there. But I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing it for the second time.
Now, what tractors did you use on that?
So I use the 754 for the mowing. The 5835, these are all TYMs. The 5835 to tether it. I did use an old Ford to rake it with that my buddy had. And that rake was kind of broke, and he had it rigged up on there. That's why we done it. And then I used the 5835 and a spear to bring them out of the field. So mostly TYMs, but one day on that little 3600 Ford.
Right, I seen that in that little intro. You seen that? I mean, I love them old tractors like that.
That was a fun tractor. It would absolutely fly.
Yeah.
Well,
I've always been fascinated. We're actually a couple of things, and one of them is sawmills, and then the other one is hay. I've always been fascinated by hay.
Oh, everybody cuts it here. Once we bought this farm we just bought it in June.
I don't have enough land, man. I've got enough land. It's all in woods, though. Almost all of mine's in woods.
Yeah, I don't have any woods. All mine's pasture. All 3 places I own here is all pasture. No wood. You've been here. There's no woods.
Oh, yeah.
No woods.
Yeah, you got some rolling hills, and it's pretty down there, man. You got a beautiful place. Well, let's see here. Let me get back over the comments. I got off of that and see what anybody got any questions for Nathan here. Nathan, tell us something about yourself. When you started your channel? While I'm looking through these comments.
I see one there about blades, it looks like, from somebody.
Let's see, big. Let's see here. Trying to find it, man. I got sidetracked there pushing.
Yeah, when I do these lives, they're very difficult to keep up with comments. They're extremely hard.
Well, the way I got it set, we're doing live not only on YouTube, but we're doing it on Facebook as well. And let's see here. Here we go. That's what you're looking at right there.
Okay, so there we go. 747 blades are also 1030, 734s. Yeah, I'm running just those 7s, the silver tip turbo 7s. That's all that I'm running now. And gosh, I'll probably never change up unless something better comes along. That's
so funny story. While I was at that convention thing or that open house, I talked to a lot of pro guys that are like, pro sawers like you, like in your level. And I don't know of anybody that's not running 7 degrees. Except if they're cutting like only pine, they'll run 10s. But they run generally 7s, especially up in that area because they deal with a lot of frozen wood.
Yeah. So people, I started sawing in 2010, and they were really pushing for 10-degree blades. That's what they were like, all-purpose blade, 10 degrees. And man, I saw pine, hemlock, walnut, oak, cedar, everything, and even the pine, it didn't. I had issues with it, and that's why I switched over to the 7s, and I've not went back. I used to run 4s a lot as well.
Got a question for you there. So are balers available to rent in Northeast Tennessee?
They are not. So I checked on that at my local dealer who starts with the V. Vermeer. Yeah, that's right. Vermeer. Yeah, I couldn't rent one at the co-op or anywhere. I tried. I'm going to break down next year and probably buy one, I guess. As bad as I hate to, but let me see. Where can I get a hat like yours? I'm assuming you're referring to that little straw hat. Send me a text there, Joe, and I'll send you a link to it. There's a lady up in Pennsylvania, and she sells them on Etsy, actually.
I got to see here. All right, let's talk about your future plans. What you got? You got your LT70 up and running. You're moving it down there to your barn, and then you got a new piece of equipment. What was that you got?
We got an edger about a week ago Friday. We went to Woodmiser and got an edger, EG200.
I watched that video. Yeah, that's what it was.
Double blade edger. That right there is going to make things so much easier on the molder because I can start sizing my blanks now. And also edging boards on a sawmill stinks. I don't care who you are. It's not even.
So it puts both sides.
One or two. It's got a fence.
Right.
So if you have one straight edge, you can put on that fence and do one blade, or you put the fence down, do both.
Right. Okay. I remember seeing that now because that has the two saw blades that move in and out like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. One's fixed, and if you've ever edged on a sawmill, you do it 2 or 3 times. It is not any fun, and it's not very accurate.
Right, because it depends on where you stop that blade. It might be a 32nd, 16th of an inch out. Yeah,
and you might have 4 boards to edge. One may need 1 inch, one may need 2 inches. They're all different widths, and it's very repetitive. It's if you're a weekend sawyer or whatever, it's fine. But if you're wanting to do a lot of production stuff, it's hard to do it that way.
Well, Nathan, this question is definitely for you because you're a beginner, so you're fresh in your mind.
Been thinking about starting a hay field. Go on YouTube and watch a guy called Just a Few Acres, and he'll teach you everything about hay that you'll ever need to know. Man, that guy's awesome. Pete, his name's Pete, up in New York, and I watched all his videos on hay and last winter and stuff, and it was just a huge wealth of knowledge from that guy.
I don't know what it is about raking hay and tethering it up and then then windrowing it, and something about it just absolutely
it's appeals. The same thing when it comes to cutting lumber. It's old way of doing things. It's tradition. It's Appalachia. It makes
it just feels good, don't it?
It makes you feel like you're doing something your grandparents done, and
that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's the way I always feel. All the guys around here cut hay all the time, and now that I'm finally doing it, it's almost like I finally got in the club.
You're in the hay club. All right, got it.
I finally got in. But
so I asked a question a while ago. I'm curious to see how many. I see a lot of names here that watch our channel. I'm curious who watches yours because we do sawmilling. We're not to the level that you do, but I'm curious if any of my viewers watch Nathan's channel, Out of the Woods. Again, if you guys are new here and you just logged in, we're interviewing Nathan from Out of the Woods YouTube channel. He's been doing it a lot longer than me. He's a lot better at it than me, and he knows what I told him earlier. He's forgot more about sawmilling than I'll probably ever know, and that's not just blowing smoke up his skirt. That's just the fact of life.
There's a lot of knowledge about mills out there, but man, I know a little bit about it, and there's guys that know stuff that are, man, they're way beyond me in their knowledge of it.
Well, here was my path into the sawmill, and I'll just tell for the new person that's thinking about a sawmill. I come from a very mechanical background, So the mechanics of the sawmill and the sawmill head, it just come natural. You know, it's just a machine, and I'm really good with machines. Then once I got the machine built and everything's put together and everything's set up, I understand the physics of it going through. I get that. But the point where you're going to run into is learning how to read the logs. That is an art unto itself.
Yeah, and you still can mess up. Even the best guys mess up sometimes, and it's a learning. You learn something every time you open one up.
Just a curious question here: how many people out here have a sawmill?
There's a lot of sawmills out there in this country right now. There's a lot more than there was a few years ago.
So this Sunset Sawyer been watching you 6-7 years. So okay, saw us. All right, well, that's cool. A few months back. Yeah, we're really light into the sawmill compared to out of the woods, but let's see here. Oh no, I'm gonna take that one off. Did you see that?
Yeah, I got nothing to say about that guy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Joe got him a small sawmill, and he's
What's he got? I didn't know he had one.
He's got a little Frontier OS 18.
That's right. I remember seeing that now.
Yeah, we I helped him set it up, and let's see. Wheeler Farm says it looks like he missed a bunch. Well, what we've talked about is a little bit of how long that Nathan's been doing this, and I think you said 2015. And
November 2015 was upload number one man logging.
I need to go back and look at that.
It's horrible. It's
Do you cringe? When I go back and look at my first one, I cringe.
I'm sitting there with the camera and I'm trying to show the woods, and I'm sitting there jerking with the camera. And
well, cameras were not that good either back then, too.
No, that's true, but it was just I didn't have a beard, so that's something funny as well. I'm clean shaven, I think. At that
well,
time.
if you go back a few, I guess about 2 years ago, I started growing a beard. And for all my military career, obviously, I didn't have a beard. So I go back and look at I guess it's been 3 years I've grown a beard now, but I go back and look, and I don't even recognize myself anymore without a beard. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I've not shaved. It's obvious I ain't shaved in a long time, but it's just whenever I retire, I may shave it though.
Lucas, you got a new kind of a new brand of mill on the market, and I think it was a Max, if I remember right.
Yeah, because I got their wood chipper there, same kind of thing.
Right. So what do you think about that Max sawmill?
See here, shout out to Cora Grace down in Georgia. Happy birthday, Cora.
Look at there. Happy birthday, Cora.
Yeah, it's from our good buddy Joe Main down there.
Right.
Let me see.
She's watching with me. 7 years old. Well, hello, honey.
7 years old.
There she is. Let's see if I get the right one clicked on. It's moving up there so fast I can't click the right one.
I know these lives are difficult to see everything. It gets
we got 53 on here right now. I can't imagine somebody that's going to have 1,000 people comment at one time. I don't think I could see it.
Nah, when I do live on my channel, I have maybe a couple of hundred sometimes, and those bigger channels. I mean, you can't see them all.
Let's see here. We got a question here. Wheeler Farm, do any hobby sawmill folks cut for other people? If so,
yeah, absolutely. Most of the sawmills around me, other than myself, most of the small guys are working full-time jobs and cutting on the weekends and the afternoons. And around here, most of them cut by the board foot. Now, some guys do by the hour, but around here, most people are used to paying by the board foot. But that happens a lot. That's how a lot of guys are paying for their meals as well that still work full-time jobs. It's difficult to be a full-time sawmill, and that's your number one income, and that's what you're doing for a living. It's pretty hard for that to be your bread and butter, not rely on nothing else.
Right. So the video that's going to come out here at 8 o'clock. It's if you guys if you're new to if you just logged in here, I'm doing a premiere on a Norwood open house event I went to, and I interviewed a guy who's been doing woodwork. I mean, he is like a master carpenter that also just happens to do sawmills. But he started his sawmills. He started his sawmills with a chainsaw mill. I think he's got like a 52-inch bar and a 48-inch, like Alaskan chainsaw sawmill, and that's what he started on. And then as he's gotten older, but he made his living with making slabs. Back when slabs were doing so great, and he still does a lot of slabs.
Oh, there's still live edge slabs are still popular, and there's so many of them out there now. I can't believe people are still selling them because they're stacked in barns everywhere around here.
I'm gonna do a video with him someday where he shows us some of the work he's done, because he'll take his live edges and he does like rails on top of stairs, live edge. He's just amazing what he does. Like he'll put the checks in the splits, and he's a master carpenter is what he is. So Lucas there at Peaks Peak Hobby Homestead, he said the Mech sawmill is very comparable to the woodland mills.
Yeah, I've looked at them, and if they had the same color paint, they would be hard to tell the difference.
Yeah, be hard to tell.
Yeah.
So Sunset Shawyer says he's still contracting, but I have a part-time gig on a Woodland Mills LT15.
Woodmiser.
What'd I say?
Woodland.
Well, it says WM. Is that okay? Yeah, I see it. Woodmiser. It could be either one, really, if you with a WM. Yeah, I didn't catch that. LT15 Woodland Woodmiser. Got you. Sorry, guy. So
Money Pit Homestead. I recognize those guys.
Yeah, he's on a lot.
Yeah.
So I got a question here. I use we always get one or two YouTube questions. So I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
Me too.
I started out, with, I forget what name brand it was. So it was a cheaper software you could download and pay for a subscription for a year, and it would get you through the bare nuts and bolts. But if you're going to do it and if you're all in, you just learn Adobe Premiere Pro and be done with it, because it does everything. That's the reason. That's what they make movies with, and you'll never have to wish you had something. And the cost is not, if you're really going to do it, it's not that expensive per year.
And I use probably 3% of the features that it offers.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if I do that.
I mean, you could get geeked out on that and do all kinds of crazy stuff with that. Yeah, it's great. It's easy.
So I did go to Canada for a week, and it was an amazing place. We were in a place called Barrie, Canada, and Barrie, Canada. Anyway, it's north of Toronto, and it was the people were absolutely amazing. They were such friendly people, and then everybody gives turn signals there. I mean, it's like the friendliest driver. Like if you come up to a merging into traffic on the interstate, they just automatically let you in. It's so it was a very pleasant trip and beautiful country. I mean, just so rugged. The further north you go, it's rugged, and the people are rugged. We had a lot of people from up north come to that show, and it was just really cool to meet those people, because they are rugged people. I mean, they are for real. All right, there's Ed, My Cluttered Garage. Now, if you don't know this, next week we're going to be interviewing Ed. And I'm doing a poor job of interviewing you. We're just more talking about whatever's going on.
So he's going to see a wood. I'll tell you an interesting story. I bought my first Woodmiser in 2010, and I went to see a Woodmiser that a buddy of mine owned, and 2 weeks later I ordered one.
That's what I'm going to tell you, Ed. With you, I mean, I'm telling you, make sure you're thinking this through before you go visit it, because it's addictive.
Yeah, and that was when you could call Woodmiser and get a brand new mill in like 3 to 4 weeks. It was ready. Whole lot different world now. A different world.
I tell you what, there was if you had to fly into that show, there was a lot of people that got their feelings hurt because of all that outage. They would get on planes and literally, they deplaned them. They literally made them get off the plane because that plane just didn't fly that day because all the outages that happened with that computer error or whatever they did.
Mm.
All right, well, let's talk about you some more, man. You're not talking about you none. Tell us more about you.
I'm sitting there reading these comments here, to be honest with you. I'm
What
trying
about
to see
you? What's next on the agenda? What's your goals, man, with your channel? Where are you going?
Well, the channel has never had a goal. I just show what I'm doing here every day and kind of like just the workflow that I have here is what's going to be on the channel as far as getting this place established and all the work that needs to be done. As far as the YouTube channel goes, the days are over, I think, on YouTube where people do reviews and how to run a land plane and how to run a tractor auger. Those videos, there's so many out there now. I don't think anybody hardly wants to see them anymore. I think people just want to see what somebody's doing every day and what all they're working on.
Your channel is genuine, man. You come across as a genuine person, and
I'm to the point now to where I could do 1,000 videos on how to saw up a pine log, and it gets monotonous after a while. I'm sawing here anyways, and I thought if I just show every day what I'm doing, either it be tractor work, mowing, chickens, hay, or whatever, like just a daily vlog style video. I think that's what people want to see nowadays.
Right.
I think that's where it's going. But that's where it's going with me. I'm just, we bought this new farm last month. It's additional 15 acres. It's got another house on it. I mean, there's so much work to be done here. I want to build a log cabin here at some point because I need another project, I guess.
We all need another project.
But I got so much stuff to do here. It's very overwhelming, but it's fun at the same time.
I seen you had all of Bruno's clocks in that new house.
Oh man, that house, they're all over the walls down there.
That's awesome.
I got to get extra insurance just to cover his clots for fire down there. I got a lot of money in those clots down there. I love seeing Bruno on the channel. Focus on what you're saying while teaching him. Yeah, he was very leery of the gas pedal. But I think I'm going to buy him a golf cart because I think he can learn to drive a golf cart a lot faster than the side-by-side and not be so scared of the power from it.
Oops, I missed that one. That's a fact right there. You're down to earth, man. You are just who you are. So I'll tell you a story of how I met Nathan. We had been talking back and forth, and just there's this little social media like little circle, and we've got to kind of be friends over the phone. And then an opportunity come for me to deliver a tractor to him, and got to come meet him. And I was a little, you just don't know how people are going to be for real until you meet them. And he was exactly how he is in real life is how he is on his channel. There's no difference. It's no put on. He is just who he is. That's why I say you're such a genuine person, and you like what you like and you share what you like. And I think that's what everybody likes about you.
Yeah, that's it. It's more of a lifestyle YouTube channel now. Deadster cows, man, I would have had them by now if we wouldn't have bought this farm beside of us. But that really delayed plans on what all we're going to be doing here. But they're coming, hopefully sooner than later. But they're coming. It's just, I tell you, it's just so many irons in the fire right now. And this 100-degree heat we've been having this summer is not helping very much either at all.
Man, we've had some pretty hot weather. I will say we brought back some cool weather from Canada because I'm not gonna lie, we had to put jackets on up there. It got cold up there in the mornings. You come out the door, you had to have a jacket on. And yeah, they said they have like a 3-4 week summer, and then it's back to start getting cool again.
Somebody talked about Paul Bunyan earlier. Did you ask Norwood if they was going to go to Paul Bunyan this year?
So they invited a bunch of social media channels up, and then a bunch of like their sawyers. The whole meeting was about how to make it a better experience for their owners, the sawmill owners. And one of the things that was brought up in that meeting was that they need to start going back to the shows again. And I think they are going to start going back to the shows again. So I would imagine you're going to start seeing more presence of them here in the United States. They just recently bought a huge warehouse, and it's a technical marvel. Actually, everything's barcoded. They knew, like, if you know where this boat is, they know exactly where it is in the warehouse. So it was impressive. But yeah, I think they are going to start getting into the sawmill circuit again. Mm. So speaking of cabin's coming along. It's just we've got some video done. I just not edited it yet, just because we like I said, we've been running so hard. It'll be like last time. There'll be nothing. It's not been nothing on the cabin, and all of a sudden there's gonna be 10 videos in a row about the cabin, because kind of like what you're doing, Nathan. I'm just showing it as we do it, and life sometimes gets in the way of that.
Oh yeah, show your mistakes, show your good days and your bad days, and vent your frustrations. And yes, I see Joseph Godwin there in the chat. That's an old school supporter of my channel. He's been with me since the very beginning. Very beginning, Mr. Joe right there. I think he's up in the Northwest right now living. He came here to meet Bruno a few years ago.
So we got about 15 more minutes before we go over to that premiere. Again, if you guys don't know, I did a premiere with if you're even thinking about, I think Ed's thinking about looking at a sawmill, watch that video, because it's looking at how to buy a sawmill through the eyes of someone that's new, asking the questions that most men are afraid to ask, because we don't want to let everybody know that we don't know everything. But asking those questions to a pro that's been doing it for years. I mean, he literally started out with a chainsaw mill, and he's worked in wood his whole entire life. And on top of that, like, he's kind of like, Nathan cuts more wood up in a week than I probably cut up in 6 months. And he's that kind of guy. And so if you don't know that, the premiere comes out at 8, but right now we got 15 minutes before that happens. So if you got a question to ask Nathan about anything he's doing, this is the time to get him. And while you're doing that, I'm going to find another stupid joke.
Just try the heat.
Oh, this is good. I got a good joke. You ready for this one?
Fire it off there, Tony.
All right, here it comes. I don't know what that comment I just clicked on, what that means. Oh, okay, got you. Loader backup in greasing. Got you. Here's my joke. This is a dumb one, but hey, I like it. Why don't eggs tell jokes? They'll crack each other up. That's horrible. I know it's horrible.
Write these down so you can put them in a video, Tony.
All right, listen. That's what I did. I go up here and wrote them down. Let's see. Come in late there, Mr. Bigelow. Woodcraft. Yep.
Craft.
Now he's got another Frontier Sawmill. He's got an OS 27, and he's a pretty technical dude. He built him a system that pulls the head through the log automatically. He sets the speed just like a power feed, and then he's got a power up and down head. Pretty impressive setup he's got there. And one of these days we're gonna get together and he's gonna teach me how to use a sawmill. There's old Josh, Stony Ridge Farmer.
Mr. North Carolina there.
There he is. Let's see. Running really good sales right now. Yeah. There are a lot of people, the economy's slowing down, to be honest with you. I mean, there's still back orders on, you're not going to get a sawmill tomorrow, but you might get one in,
You used to use looking at a year on a
2 years. At one point it was 2 years.
And now you can have one in about 20 weeks on most of them.
Right. Yeah. I think depending on what model it is from the Norwood guys, some of their their high volume models. There's a little longer wait time, but they got some of them you can get out like in the they'll ship within a couple of days actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the lead times have really decreased now.
Yeah,
And
well, I mean, the economy has slowed down. And it's just a part of life. It never, All right, guys, we got a few more minutes here, and I'd really like you to ask Tim some questions. If you hadn't done it, do me a favor and hit a thumbs up. I know I suck at this live stream, but I'm getting better every time. That's what I'm telling myself. Okay, that's a good question right there. Josh wants to know a little bit about the Kato equipment.
Kato equipment can't beat them. Can't beat them. Yanmar diesels, Kubota diesels. They use top of the line engines.
Man, the fit and finishes, Nick, they're good.
It's all made in Japan. I got buddies around me that run full excavation businesses with Case and Caterpillar machines, and they come by the Sawmill all the time. And they always look at the Katos, and they're always like, "This looks just like my Takahauchi, or looks just like my Case. It has the same features, So built tough. Everything's built in Japan. For some reason, people think Chinese. Nothing's made on China, and that whole machine's all in Japan.
I've seen them in shows, and the fit and finish, man, it's like a Cadillac. Everything is, the edges are smooth. Everything, they took a lot of pride in making that.
Oh machine. Yeah, and every part is in Kentucky in Elizabethtown at their warehouse. Every part for any of their machines is in that warehouse. I mean, full dealer support and stuff. They're just not real well known.
Now they come from another line. They made the another line. What's it? IHI. So they made IHI, and then they separated from them, and now they're just under their own name.
Yeah, they bought. Yeah.
So they're not new to this at all.
Yep. And they're hard to beat. I'm trying to see these comments. Same thing you're doing here. It's hard.
Yeah. So our little eyes are just back and forth.
Board footage production increased. That edger that I just got, the 2-bladed edger, should greatly increase board footage production just by not having to handle the boards twice on the mill.
Right.
That should, and also being in my bigger building now that we have built. Gosh, so much more room to work with the 70.
Let's see here. Let's see.
Yeah, so Daniel has a Kato. I think his is a 13,000 pound excavator. Mine is 8,000 pound.
I tell you, that's been a blessing out there for the
storms.
That tornado. He's helped so many people with that.
Yeah, but I tell you, 8,000 pounds, I wouldn't want one bigger. It does everything I need it to do. Super good machine.
Let's see here. Yeah, Kato. Got a question for you there.
Yes, Oneida is my equipment dealer, and it's a little bit of a drive. They do have a location in Knoxville now, but super good guys down there. I had a problem with one of my tractors a few years ago had a radiator issue, and man, they come down here, picked it up, brought it right back. Good guys down there.
Yep. Got one more question for you. I'm trying to get through. I'm sorry I can't get to everybody.
Favorite type of tree to cut is always going to be black walnut, and number 2 is quarter sawing white oak.
I love white oak.
Never going to be hickory. Never going to be hickory.
I cut some hickory slabs, and you talking about that log had been down for a little bit.
Oh
man, you talking about burning through a blade quick.
Oh man, it's hard to dry that stuff in the kiln.
Well, I'm doing it. I got it set out, and then I stacked it correctly, and then I put heavy weight on top of it, and I'm just letting it dry normally or naturally. And it's like 2.5 inches. So I guess probably 2 years from now I can use it.
You can put it in a kiln after a year. It ain't gonna get no drier after that. But it's
right.
Man, that hickory's just so hard on your mill. I have a 55 horsepower Yanmar with an 1.5 inch giant blade, and my mill hates hickory. And I got all that power, Yeah.
I got a question or one here I'd like to address. How many of you gents believe the Facebook post regarding how easy these tractor cylinders are being bent? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you bend your front loader cylinders, you're doing something wrong. They're not construction equipment. You can't run into trees. If you back drag and hang a root, you're probably going to bend them because it's just not what they're meant to do. They're made to, you can be real gentle and get a lot of work done with your loaders. But if you're trying to cut with make it a dozer, it's not a dozer, and they're going to bend them motor cylinders. I know people like Nathan, for example. How many hours you've got on your tractors? Nothing. You've not been a loader or been a cylinder. And me, I don't tell how many hours I've got, and I've never been a cylinder or damaged a loader. But
two things on that. First is common sense.
Right.
Number two is don't buy a stump bucket for a tractor and think you're going to dig a stump out. I see guys all the time with these stump buckets say they're going to dig out a stump, and I'm like, my excavator has trouble with the stump. You sure ain't going to do it with the tractor.
Right. Especially up in your area with the hickory, because them tap roots go down to China.
Yeah. Well, Josh there as well. He's got the big giant TYM. I mean,
Yeah, you can do a quick story. There's a story of a dealer I know. I'm not going to call the dealer out because I don't want to embarrass the person who did it. But they delivered a 75 horsepower tractor of an unknown color, and the guy got it was a new tractor owner, and run around in the front yard of his place and run into a big giant oak tree, and folded his loader over literally minutes after he got it off the truck.
Yeah. If you look on Facebook, if you look on a side-by-side group for, let's say, Kubota side-by-sides, or if you look at Wood-Mizer Sawmills or Case skid steers, you'll find a post on every one of those where somebody says, "Does the warranty don't cover this?" and something's bent and broke.
Yeah. No, that's not how that works.
It's operator error. Every time. Operator error. Every time. And there's an OTW guy, Mr. John Gagnon, my good buddy from up north.
Wow, thank you. That was all right. That's awesome. I did not expect that.
He came down to the Paul Bunyan show to meet me last year. We had he brought me a cup of coffee in the rain, put it that way.
That's pretty awesome. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Super good guy right there. But yeah, these people damage this equipment. It's user error almost
most time. Now, yeah, you're going to bust a hose. In all fairness, I've hung a hydraulic hose on a limb and backed up and ripped the hose loose. I mean, that's different. That's an accident. That's not misusing it. That's just using a piece of equipment. Yes, sometimes it's going to happen, but you see two bent cylinders on the front of a loader, they are doing something wrong.
Some people, before they operate equipment, they should have some kind of training.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I'm going to open a can of worms right here. We got a few minutes. And what we can do is open a can of worms and then leave, go to my you can carry that conversation over to my premiere that's going to come out in a few minutes. So just if you guys don't know, the ones that showed up here a little bit late, I'm doing a premiere on a show that I went to up in Canada for Norwood Open House. And I interviewed a guy that's like Nathan, who's been doing this a long time, just forgot more than I'll ever know about sawmilling. And we talk about a sawmill, what a new person should ask and what all the stuff does. I mean, we broke it down really, really simple. And he was so humble and not about how he answered the questions. But here's that can of worms I'm getting ready to open. So I don't believe in stump buckets for the front of compact tractors, and I don't believe in having thumbs on a compact tractor. I listen to literally 1,000 comments a week on our social media channels between Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and so I have probably a better picture than a lot of people do. But you will not believe how many people have damaged their loaders with a stump bucket, and also they'll pick up a log and drive around with their backhoe with a thumb, and that is bad juju right there. Is one of my uncles used to say, because just imagine the weight that you're picking up. That backhoe is designed to dig and pull, but then you pick up 1,000-pound log and then drive around. If you're going to do it real slow, I'm not saying I won't do it, but we're going to be creeping. But if you see these people, I've seen them on videos where they'll pick up a log and they'll run across the yard doing, wide open, and that hit a big giant bump. Well, all that weight, it's not only the weight of the log, but then the kinetic energy as the log goes down on that backhoe, and they rip the loader, the backhoe pivot points out, and then they go to the tractor dealer and go, well, this thing ain't worth a crap. And no, it's the operator. Can't do that. So that's my can of worms I'll open. Feel free to, disagree with me, but is one of my preachers used to say, as humble, my humble, most accurate opinion.
No, I'm with you. Those stump buckets are the worst.
Yeah.
They should not sell that to you by the tractor.
I'm not saying don't get a thumb for your backhoe, but if you are going to do it, I mean, if you're like pick a single rock up, move it over out of the way, like set it in a trailer or something like that, that's different. But when you pick up a log and then run across the yard with it, man, it's gonna.
I would not want that log behind me where I can't control what's going on.
Right. I've seen videos where people like just hauling butt across their high range, and all So you gotta, when you hit a big bump, that's 1,000 pounds that you're already carrying, and then the kinetic energy of whatever that downward force comes from hitting the bump.
And also, if it's on your front end loader, get that log off the ground, and that's as high as you need to go.
Absolutely. You
don't need to have it up in the air. You don't need to. I mean, just a few inches, and you're done.
Yeah, right here's a good one here. Don't lift it on the hillside. So, I mean, as bad as anybody because of where you're at. You got a lot of hills up there in East Tennessee. You raise that log up, or you're running around with your loader up and on something heavy in your loader, your center of gravity raises dramatically.
Oh yeah. And I had a good friend get killed at his sawmill a couple of years ago on his tractor. Been running one his whole entire life, and it happens real fast, man. It happens real fast.
Kevin, I can see by your beard that you're a smart guy.
Grapples can be dangerous. Grapples.
Yeah, he used his backhoe to pull the log out, and then use the chain to pull it. That's smart, and that's the right way to do it. And I say I'm not against using the thumb to do like pull, push, very controlled, but don't use it as a crane and then run across here. Josh, man, you didn't have to do that. Appreciate you. You guys are killing me. That's awesome. Thank you so much,
Mr. Josh.
I gotta drive down tomorrow to Rome, Georgia, and so pulling a trailer and a tractor. So that's going to help me pay for my fuel. Thank you.
You're going straight down through Nashville, I guess, aren't you?
No, I'm going to go around the bypass, go around it. I'm going to stop off with my buddy Joe the farmer, and we got some dealings to do. And
hey, drop that bighorn off over here on the way, and I'll try it out with those toolboxes. Thanks.
Listen, that if you guys don't know what we're talking about, this is the let me see if I can find a little picture here of it. This is the bighorn truck version.
Man, that's a nice setup right there.
Yeah, it's got two big toolboxes. Basically, it's a 4-seater. They converted it into a 2-seater, and where your feet would go, they put these big giant toolboxes.
Excuse me.
It's got a class 3 hitch on the back of it. I think it's rated at like pulling like 800 or 900 pounds.
Man, that would be a mobile toolbox for my sawmill. I mean, I'm going to look into those. That would be a nice setup right there.
You guys need to look at that dog. That dog does not believe that he should walk. I
didn't even see the dog. There it is.
Yeah, he literally does not believe that he should walk. He thinks that he if there's a side by side around, he's getting on it. So if we're going down the road, he don't walk no more. He gets on the side by side with us.
What kind of motors in there?
I believe that one's like a 26 horsepower. It's made. Joe would probably know the better. He's really up on all that. But let me get back over here to my comments.
Take it off any sweet jumps.
Yeah. Yeah, you do sweet jumps. That's right. But anyway, it's a Lin High. I believe it's made by Lin High, and they have a long history with Yamaha. So it's a good running machine, and the fit and finish is really nice. It's a good machine. You can look at some of them; they're a little bit iffy. And that dog, he don't know that he's a dog. 400 cc's. I think it's about 25 horsepower. It's not fast. I think I got it up to 40 miles an hour, but it's not made for that. It's made to work around a work site.
Yeah, that would be perfect for I'm going to look into those. That's
look here, man.
I got no way of securing tools at my new barn, so that'd be a good way of doing it.
I hate to cut you off, but we got to jump over here to that premiere. And I hope you follow us over there and it comes on here in just a minute. Let me get back over to my channel on my other page. Also, I apologize. And let's see here. Right there it is. All right, guys. Appreciate you so much. Jump over on our, if you want to carry this conversation over, jump over on to our live stream. Man, that happened fast, man. That hour went by quick.
I didn't know it was already an hour. I had no idea.
Oh, I didn't know it either. I'll leave this. I'm going to cut this live off here, but if you want to carry the conversation over, jump over to, I'm going to give you a link and we'll jump over there to this video and we can carry the conversation on. Nathan, appreciate you, buddy. If you haven't watched Nathan's channel, Out of the Woods, go check it out. This guy's he's a real guy. He's just like he is on video, is like how he is in person. Appreciate you a bunch.
All right. Bring me up Bighorn tomorrow and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.